What is up, you guys? In today's video, I'm gonna give you the first 5 steps to making your first $10,000 as a woodworker. You're gonna wanna stick around for this one. It's pretty solid. Let's dive into it. All right, well, welcome back. As always, so grateful for your time and your attention. If you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out the podcast. There were about 80 episodes on the podcast that did not make it to YouTube. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, you want more visual representations, you want to see my old ugly mug while I talk, be sure to check out the YouTube channel. So also, if you are a consistent follower, consistent viewer, consistent listener, and you haven't left us a review, man, it would genuinely mean the world to us if you'd help us out, because it's going to help us reach more people and help more people. We get a lot of listens over on the podcast, not a lot of reviews. It would mean the world to me genuinely if you'd take 30 seconds, 60 seconds to leave us a review. Let us know how this has helped you in your journey. So in today's video, I want to give you 5 steps to making your first $10,000 as a woodworker. This is actually exactly what I did, okay? And so step number 1 is product development. Okay, we need to develop a winning product. This is the number 1 step that if you get it right, it makes everything else easier. And if you get it wrong, it makes everything else harder. It feels like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. But if you actually have a good product that has high demand, by high demand, we mean that people are actually looking for this. People want these things, right? Not that you think it's just a good idea, but that we can look and that a lot of other businesses are selling these things. You should also feel, man, it's super competitive. You should feel that way about whatever product it is that you choose to go with, because that means that there is money to be made. There's not a whole lot that's new under the sun, right? And so if you are coming up with something brand new that no one has ever seen before, I'm not saying that it won't take off, but what I am telling you is that there are proven products out there that a lot of businesses are selling, and it's because there's money to be made selling them. So with this, just a little caveat here, I always recommend selling high ticket products. Listen, if you want to make $10,000 and you're selling $100 products, it's going to take you 100 customers or 100 products to hit your $10,000 mark. If you're selling $2,500 dining table sets, you only have to talk with 4 clients. You only have to convert 4 people into a sale to get to $10,000. In my personal opinion, I would rather deal with 4 invoices. I'd rather deal with 4 people, 4 potential problem clients, as opposed to 100. That's literally 25 times more people. So I always recommend picking something that's expensive, picking something that has a really high perceived value. Yeah, is it going to take you more time, more work to build the $2,500 product? Well, it should, but you also should get a better return on your time as opposed to trying to hammer out 100 units of this $100 thing, okay? So, but product development. So what are we going to build? How are we going to stand apart? Okay, that's number 1. So number 2 is product testing. So now that you have something that you think is a good option, you have to test it. How do I actually know this is something that I could scale a business with? Testing is not going to your friends and family and saying, hey, do you think this is a good idea, right? Because your friends and family, they love you. Unless they're just mean or they're like brutally honest with you all the time, they're gonna be like, yeah, it's a great idea. You actually test this by selling it, okay? You test this by trying to sell it, by going to your friends and family and saying, would you be interested in buying one? They might be, yes, no, yeah, that's awesome. Or they might be like, no, I'm not really that interested. But then you can't just stop there with your friends and family. You got to put it out in the marketplace. What I recommend doing when you're testing products is utilizing free methods to put things out there to test them, to try them in the marketplace. And so number 1 is Craigslist. Number 2 is Facebook Marketplace. And then number 3 is Facebook Groups. And then you can post them on your personal page. You can post them online. But test when it's free and make sure that you can start getting some traction. You should at least be having conversations around it. Now, the other part of this that's so important is pricing. If you price this ridiculously to where you're pricing it like you're the expert and you're not going to sell anything, right? So you might be like, oh, this product doesn't work. Well, it's because you're asking $10,000, right? Or it's because you're asking 5 times what the going rate is for this thing. And so you got to make sure that you're priced accordingly, priced fairly, especially if you haven't built a brand yet. And so this is the second step. So product testing. So how do you actually know if it's going to work? Actually try to sell it. Okay. Number 3 is once you now have a couple sales under your belt, once you have 1 or 2 people that have purchased that you know that this is a viable option for you, that's when you start looking at paid advertising. And the reason that I'm such a big believer in paid advertising has changed my life. Us being able to scale Iron by Iron Woodworks is solely due to paid advertising. Us being able to scale the Woodworking Business Accelerator program is about 75% due to paid advertising. And so paid advertising is the tool that you can use to get in front of more eyeballs and the right eyeballs for your business. Now, here's the deal about paid advertising is if you don't know how to do it, you're just going to blow money. Okay, so you need to actually study and learn how to do it. Study and learn how to run paid ads. Now, inside of my Handmade Hero Academy program, I actually teach you the exact strategy that I used to get my business off the ground with paid advertising. It's super valuable. For the cost of the program, if you sell one high ticket item, it more than pays for itself. So check that out, Handmade Hero Academy below. Step number 3 is once you know that you have a proven model with step number 2, which is product testing, then we want to get it in front of more eyeballs. That's where your advertising strategy comes forward. Now, with your advertising strategy, you need to know who's my target audience, right? Who typically is going to buy this kind of stuff? And then how do I position it in a way that it's attractive to those people? Okay, we go all over all that inside the Handmade Hero Academy. Step number 4. Once you now are in front of a lot of people, you really need to tighten up and have a really streamlined sales process. Here's the deal about this. This is not something that you're gonna have overnight. This is not something that you're gonna be able to snap your fingers and you be a master salesperson, know how to do this. But you've gotta have product, then you gotta have advertising / marketing, then you gotta figure out sales. How to actually, now that I have a lot of people coming through the door, how do I actually convert them into a sale, right? How do I actually create an invoice, take a deposit? How do I actually do that? So you have to develop your sales process. So number 5 is once you have developed a product, after you have tested the product, after you have created an advertising strategy and it seems to be working, after you're starting to hone in your sales process and you're converting a couple people here and there, then it's when you start preparing for growth. You start looking at how do I get more efficient and how do I get faster and how do I start implementing some systems inside my business. But our goal here was to get to our first $10,000, right? So just a quick caveat, quick reminder is if we're selling $2,500 dining table sets, you only got to convert 4 people. 4 people, right? Our business right now, we're doing $70,000 to $80,000 per month. And the truth is we're not selling hundreds of people a month. We're only selling 15 to 25 people per month. That's it. And so right now you can walk out on the street and look down the street and see 15 to 25 people. And this is such a good visual reminder. When you're selling high ticket, it's not like you have to change the world. You just have to change a couple people, right? You only have to convert a couple people. It doesn't take a lot to really start making the money that you're trying to make. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. Couple resources. Number 1, check out free ebook, Handmade Business Secrets, link below. Over 1,000 people have read it. They've loved it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It's completely free. Go check it out. If you're wanting to develop your advertising strategy, if you're wanting to know how to more clearly develop your product, test your product, get things running out there on social media, check out the Handmade Hero Academy. It is literally the exact blueprint that I used to get to $10,000. It's the exact blueprint. Okay, I'm gonna show you the ins and outs of how to do it. Go check that out. And then number 3, third resource I have for you, the Woodworking Business Accelerator Program. If you're really trying to scale your woodworking business in a major way, we're gonna run your ads for you. We're gonna bring you leads. We're gonna give you a script on how to sell those people, and we're gonna help you build out and develop the back end of your business as we go. So that being said, love you guys. Thank you for your support. Be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to leave a review over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Let us know how this is helping you in your journey. So with that being said, love you. See you in the next one.